Hey, and welcome to another episode of AGI Insider, where we take a look at all things production and give you the inside look at what's going on. So I'm Adam Devizia, your host, here today with Sean from AGI, our client relationship specialist. Hey, welcome. Last time we were here with Sean, you gave us some big news. You said you were about to have a child.
Yes.
And we have taken one giant step closer to that. We're not there yet,
No.
but literally tonight, at midnight, you guys check in to have the baby.
Have the baby.
That's awesome.
That's super cool. We're
very excited. We'll update you on a little resting, but because the next time we have one of these, we will have baby.
We will have baby here.
Maybe literally physically right here.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, hey, this that segues us great into our topic today.
Yes,
you having a baby, because we're talking about cutting the cord today. That's right. We're talking about wireless. And so talk to us, Sean, first of all. Give us a little inside look, an overview of what we mean when we talk about wireless.
Wireless is always going to have at least two components. You're going to have something that sends your signal, transmits it, and something that receives that signal. So your transmitter could be a microphone, it could be something like this that transmit to a wireless pack so you can receive that and listen to audio. And that's really the two components. You have a wide range of manufacturers and levels and costs and all the extras and bells and whistles that comes with it, but you're always going to have at least those two components, something that sends your signal and something that receives it.
Let's talk about the signal. What is that component? What does that look like, and are there things that could affect that signal?
The best way to describe it, kind of the closest thing that everybody would understand, is the wireless TV signals. Everybody understands, you know, the big antennas that you used to have with your TVs. All of this wireless operates in that same space, and so that's something you need to be aware of when you're considering purchasing or expanding your existing wireless, is that all of this operates in the same area as the TV channels. So you need to know what's going on in your area, and what TV stations are broadcasting and how strong they are, so that you purchase a piece of equipment that fits where you have space to use it. If you buy the wrong thing, you could be trying to overlap with a bunch of TV channels and have a really hard time getting anything to actually transmit well.
So does it matter on how many different TV channels are in your area? So like, for instance, if you live in Chicago, probably a lot of TV stations there, versus maybe a more rural location out somewhere in the backwoods of Iowa, not as robust of an area for TV production. So is it going to be harder to find open channels in Chicago versus a place like rural Iowa?
It all really depends on the exact location, because if you go to Chicago, you may have a lot of frequencies overlapping, but you might be in a place where there's a lot of buildings, and so you're inside a building where you're not getting a lot of interference because you're inside and it's all blocked because it's really tall buildings, so you might have a clean wireless environment there. You could be out in the middle of the sticks somewhere, but have big cities around you, near to you, and a TV station could transmit 60, 70 miles, so you could be close enough that you have a lot of cities that are all kind of broadcasting and overlapping, and so you have this kind of overwhelming sense that way. That just because you're in the sticks doesn't mean you're not going to get anything. It could, but the best way to know that is Shure and Sennheiser both have on their website frequency finders or spectrum analyzers, these types of things where you input what you're looking at purchasing, you put in your zip code or your address, and then it pulls up a list of all the radio frequencies and all the TV stations in that area and recommends what type of gear or what version, what group you need to purchase so that you have the most open space. And so that's something that a lot of people don't know about, and they just kind of buy whatever's on the shelf. And so that's something that you really need to know, is you can buy different groups of frequencies with this equipment. And so you can buy what's best for you.
Very cool. So once you buy, when you make that decision, are you stuck with that certain frequency or channel, or if a new TV station comes in that's on that system, what would you do? Or you have to just get rid of that stuff, or can you do something to help with that?
Well, it all really kind of varies by how much money you're willing to spend. Some of the more top dollar units have wider swaths of frequencies that they can use, and then some of the less expensive kind of entry level stuff only has a few that you can kind of pick and choose from.
Yeah.
And so it all depends on what you're doing. But the best thing to do is, again, to use those tools so that you know that you're getting the piece of equipment that has the widest area possible to start with. And then as new things come in, you can rescan and you can use the various tools by the different manufacturers to make sure that your frequencies are falling where something's open.
Right. So rescanning is always a good thing to do, and to figure out what new things have come in. Let's talk about that, even interference. So we've first talking about this idea of a channel and how this works, but now there can be things inside your building that cause interference.
Yeah.
Let's look at that a little deeper.
Yeah, it doesn't just mean TV stations or different things that you would think of like that. Something as simple as a light on your stage, an LED light. Think of where you're purchasing your equipment. You could be buying something that is from another country where they don't have very strict regulations. And so the way that they build things and manufacture their electronics can interfere with a lot of this stuff. So it could be a moving light on stage, or you have a bunch of lights that are all coming up and going down at the same time. It could be, used to be that people's cell phones interfered with electronics a lot. That's gotten a lot better, but you could have a situation where your performer has their cell phone in their pocket and their pack clipped to their pocket, and something's going on there. And so it's not always radio interference that you have to think about. You could be chasing cables and trying to change frequencies, and the problem never goes away. And then you find out, that Steve is always wearing his pack and his phone in the same pocket, and that's what's causing that. So you kind of have to think outside of the box. One story I heard was that a bass player was always having problems with their wireless pack, and it was because they stood right in front of this big, giant moving light from a no-name company that just the stuff coming out of it as far as wireless frequency is concerned was really bad. And so every time it would come up or go down or move or do anything, it would make his pack, cut in and out, do different things. And so you need to pay attention and make sure that you're buying things from an authorized dealer that is getting you the real deal stuff.
Yeah, I know some of the productions I was involved with in the past, we would rent a big LED wall, and that would cause issues.
Yeah.
And so it was only by trial and error that we figured it out, but we figured it out, and so we had to rescan and do some things.
Yeah, and that's something to think of as holidays come around, as big events come around, and you're considering buying or renting a lot of gear and kind of upping your game. You need to be aware that some of these things can throw wrenches in the gears that you're not thinking of. So give yourself extra time so that you're not stressing out.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's some complications, or at least things we need to consider and think about when doing wireless. So what are some of maybe the advantages or some of the things that you love about wireless, regardless of all these things that we have to consider and watch out for? What's something that you like?
One of the things I love the most, and a lot of people don't know about wireless stuff, is that you can actually purchase your wireless microphone, and you can purchase capsules from other manufacturers. So here today we have Shure. At AGI, we have more than just Shure equipment. We have Shure and Sennheiser and Audio-Technica and lots and lots of companies. We just happen to have Shure here today. But you can buy different capsules from Shure, from Heil, from all sorts of different companies that work with this. So you're not stuck with just buying a microphone and being stuck with that. You can actually have for different performers, different style types of music, speaking versus singing. You can have all of this, and it just pops it on there, screws on, and you keep your same frequencies, all your same settings all stay put, and you can just swap out your capsules.
So you can buy a base system that works for you, works for your budget. It's the quality that you need, but then you can add in some pretty cool things by putting those new capsules on to get different sounds and different styles. If you're doing a specific performance and you want a certain vibe to how that person's singing, you can do that for not only that brand, but also a whole bunch of different brands can go on that one.
And each manufacturer has brands that they work with. And so it used to be in the past that you purchased your wireless system and you were stuck with that. And if a new microphone came out that you really liked and you really wish you could have, you had to buy a whole new system or a whole new unit. And now you can just buy the one little capsule piece and swap that out when anything else new comes out. And so that's a really big plus, I think, to using wireless.
Yeah. Talk to us about customization and how that can be developed with all these different systems, and how you can add on and do some different things that work for each different venue.
With Shure here, they actually have on their website, with some of their units, you can purchase it and customize it direct from the factory. So they'll put designs on it. You can actually upload images and they'll print that on your microphones. And so that's a way to distinguish your unit from somebody else's that maybe you're a touring band and musician, and so you need to know that your stuff is your stuff and there's no way that it would ever get mixed up. And so that's a real easy way to do that. With the wireless in-ear monitors, they're just basically receivers, and so you can plug in any type of in-ear monitor that you like. So if you're a Shure guy and you love Shure stuff, you can do that. If you like Westone or if you like different brands, you can use that with any of the wireless stuff. It just all works right there. So totally what you want to do with it.
Well, I know we were talking earlier, and we always love hearing from all you guys out there. And so this is a reminder to make sure, number one, to subscribe to these videos, as well as you can leave comments and feedback below. We love hearing from you. You recently got an email from someone, and we'd like for you to share that.
Yeah. So I got an email this week from J.D. Quinn at Calvary Church in Corvallis, Oregon.
Shout out to J.D.
Hello. And he saw that we were talking about wireless stuff last week and wanted to drop just some hints that his team uses and kind of share that with us. And so we thought we'd turn around and share it with you guys, because that's what we're about.
That's right.
So one of the things that he talked about is before Christmas and before big events, one of the things that they do is they take that time of the year to rescan everything, whether they think it needs it or not. That's the time of year that they take, because they're probably going to do a big production. They're going to rent some gear. They're going to be adding on stuff and make sure that nothing new, like you mentioned earlier, nothing new has come in, new TV channels or anything. And so make sure that they're exactly perfectly set for the new year and for their Christmas and Easter coming up. So that was his first tip. And then his second tip here, he said that, you know, everybody's talking about the FCC selling off frequencies and all these things. And so people are kind of hesitant to buy new things. But if you are buying new things, to really be careful and watch out and don't buy things that seem too good to be true. Because you can go on Craigslist and you can go on eBay and all these different sites and see something that looks like it's good and might be the really good price, but you don't know if somebody else is selling that because it didn't work for them, and so now they're selling it off, and you could end up purchasing something that doesn't work for you. It's in the wrong band, or it's something that you can't use anymore legally. It could be something that's old, and so they're just trying to pawn it off real quick. So be sure not to just buy something because it looks really good. It could really honestly be too good to be true.
Yeah.
So,
well, those are some good thoughts from JD. Thanks for that. And,
thanks, pal.
We'd encourage you to send in some thoughts as well, and maybe we'll read your email or talk about the topic or answer your question that you're concerned about and have some thoughts on. It's like my mom always said, buy cheap, buy twice.
Yep.
And we've all been a part of something where we thought we were getting the maybe the cheaper deal or the easy deal, like JD mentioned here, where it sounds too good to be true. Someone's getting rid of it. I think that's one of the values that Sean and the guys at AGI bring us, is that you are looking at the complete system. You're saying, okay, yes, you bought this earlier, or you have this system, and now you're wanting this piece of equipment. Does it work? You know, some of these companies overseas and these different, some of these countries, you know, they're not concerned about that.
They're not concerned about you.
They just want to make the sale. And, you know, unfortunately, we're typically getting this new piece of gear, and we're getting it just in time for the big event or whatever is going on. And that's when it can really mess up your system, when it's most critical to have everything working right. And so those are good tips from JD and great value from AGI that they add that, just that thinking, the knowledge, the care, and the understanding to make sure that your system is working good, whatever it is, whether it's sound, whether it's lighting, whether it's video, whatever it might be, whatever they provide. So looking forward to seeing some more in-depth looks at some of these products. There's some things here that are pretty cool. I know Sean has been doing some unboxing videos that you can find on our YouTube channel as well, and some product reviews where he really goes in a little bit deeper. So be looking for some upcoming reviews and some inside looks on all this wireless gear here. So till next time, I'm Devizia.
I'm Sean Walker.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.